Good morning, students. So today we are going to start and revise again the topic stages of meiosis. So far in my previous lecture, I have explained you about the process of mitosis as well as some of the stages of the second cell division, which is known as meiosis. And we have already learned about the sub stages of prophase 1 of meiosis. So today I am again explaining the topic that is meiosis and its various stages. As you all know, students, we have divided the cell division meiosis into meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Meiosis 1 is truly a reductional division, and here the total number of chromosomes remains half in the daughter cell. That means if there are diploid number of chromosome in the mother cell, then after meiosis 1, the number of chromosome, it remains half in the daughter cell. So here students, you know very well that meiosis 1 is divided into 4 phases, that is prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. What is the special thing about meiosis 1 is, here the prophase stage, which is prophase 1 stage, it is an extra long stage and its duration is very long, and it is further subdivided into following 5 substages. So here I am going to explain the 5 substages of this meiosis 1 prophase 1. So here I have already told you that prophase 1 is an extra long stage and it is divided into 5 substages, which are lactotine, zygotine, pachytene, then diplotin, and then dikinesis is there. And after the prophase 1, we have metaphase 1, then anaphase 1, and then telophase 1. So here I am explaining all the substages of prophase 1 one by one. Okay, student, first substage of prophase 1 is known as lactotine. The another name of this lactotine stage is lactonema, and the word lactonema is a Greek word which means thin threads. So you must remember, when you view this stage under the microscope, you see extra long chromosomes, and these extra long chromosomes, they are compactly arranged inside the cell, and the sister chromatids of each chromosome, they are so tightly bound with each other that they are indistinguishable from each other. So the thing that you remember regarding this stage is compactation of the chromosome. That means chromosomes are very closely located and very near to each other, and also the sister chromatids, they are so tightly bound that you cannot distinguish one sister chromatid from the another. So chromosomes appear in the form of thin threads, long thin threads in this stage. Okay, student, next stage after the lactotine stage is the zygotine stage, also known as zygonema. So the characteristic feature of this zygotine stage is, as you have learned earlier in the lactotine stage, all the chromosomes, they are compactly arranged. Very little space is present between the chromosomes. But what you see in the zygotine stage here, these chromosomes, they are now separating each other. They are moving away from each other, and those chromosomes which are similar in their structure and having same kind of length, they arranged themselves in the form of pairs. So these pairs of chromosomes which are similar in their structure as well as length, these chromosomes are known as homologous chromosomes, and their pairs are known as bivalents. And the process of making these pairs is known as synapsis. So here you remember, a complex structure is formed in which all the 4 chromatids of these homologous chromosomes, they are lying one above the another. So a complex structure known as synaptonemal complex is formed, and all of these you can say chromatids, when you view under the microscope, you see that they are appearing in the form of a tetrad structure. The student, you must remember the points again, that here separation of the chromosome takes place from one another. Homologous chromosomes, they make pairing. Homologous chromosomes are those which have similar length and similar kind of structure. Then you must remember these paired chromosome They are known as the bivalent chromosome, and process of pairing is known as synapses, a complex structure consisting of 4 chromatids lie one above the another, known as a tetrad, is known as a synaptonemal complex. Okay, student, the first two stages, that is the lactotein and the zygotine stage, they are comparatively of short duration as compared to the third substage of prophase 1, and that is the packetine stage. What is the special thing about this packetine stage? As we have already discussed, the process of synapses already takes place in the zygotine stage. That means pairing of the homologous chromosome has done, and these bivalent chromosomes later, when you view under the microscope, you see how many chromatids? 4 chromatids are there. So these bivalent chromosomes, which contains their 4 chromatids, they are collectively known as a tetrad. So in this way, tetrad formation is very much visible to you. And very, very important character of this packetine stage is the process of crossing over. So crossing over is the process of exchange of segments between the non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosomes. So always remember, crossing over always takes place between 2 chromosomes, or you can say between the 2 non-sister chromatids of these homologous chromosomes. And during crossing over, the segment of one chromosome, it detaches from it and it gets attached with the other, and vice versa. So in this way, as you know that a DNA helix, it usually runs inside the chromatids. So when they exchange their segments, what happened? This DNA which contains genes, these genes also move from one chromosomal segment to the next one. That means from one chromatid to the next chromatid. So here the process of crossing over is also known as recombination, and one enzyme is involved here which is known as recombinase enzyme. So crossing over is a process which introduces variations among the species. That's why we can say that meiosis 1 always takes place in germ cells, and because of meiosis 1, variations are seen in the species. Okay, students, one very important thing here is the chromosome, they also continue to condense. So two features are there. Crossing over takes place between the non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosome, and second is the chromosome, they continue to condense. See the diagram here, the centroids are visible to you. So appearance of the centroid and movement of these centroids to the respective poles, and spindle fibers, they are also arises here. So see how these chromosomes, homologous chromosome, they attached themselves for the purpose of crossing over, and later when this homologous chromosome, they exchange their parts, they get separated in the next stage, and the next stage is the diplotin stage. Okay, student, another name of the diplotin stage is diplonema. So here, what is the special thing about this stage? That in the diplotin stage, the homologous chromosomes, which gets attached with each other at special junctions known as recombination nodules, during the crossing over, these homologous chromosomes, after crossing over, they start moving, or you can say they start separating from each other. So here you see that the chromosomes, they try to separate from each other in this homologous pair, but still at some points these chromosomes, they are attached, and these are actually the recombination nodules where the crossing over has done. So in this way, a X-shaped structure is formed, and that X-shaped structure, it is known as the chasm. Okay, student, here you see in diplotin stage, the homologous chromosome, they try to separate from each other, and X-shaped structures are formed, which is due to the attaching of the chromosome at the recombination nodules. These are known as chasmetas. And the main thing regarding this stage is uncoiling of the chromosome. And not only the chromosome, they uncoiled from each other, but during the uncoiling of chromosome, some transcription of DNA has also done in this stage. Okay, so the next stage after diplotin stage is known as the dikinesis. As you know very well, after the diplotin stage, what happened? The chromosomes, you know that in the diplotin stage, the chromosomes, they are still attached at recombination nodules, and because of this X-shaped structure, chasmetas are formed. But now when they enter into the dikinesis stage, then these chromosomes, they totally separated from each other, even at the recombination nodules also. So this stage is characterized by the terminalization of the Chess petals. So in this way, the chromosome they later becomes shorter and thicker due to condensation, and nucleolus and nuclear envelope, they also disappears towards the end of the dikinesis stage. Okay, students, see the diagram. The spindle apparatus, it start becomes organized, and the centroids, they migrate away from each other and they move towards the opposite poles. So these chromosomes, which are now known as the new crossover chromosome, they have to attach to themselves over these spindle fibers, which later formed during the metaphase stage. Okay, students. So that's all about the all 5 substages of prophase 1. Now, after prophase 1, or you can say after the completion of prophase 1, we enter into the metaphase 1 stage. So here, what is the special thing? So in the metaphase stage, all these bivalent chromosomes, that means those chromosomes which are in pairs, these are known as bivalents. These bivalent chromosomes, they start moving and they arrange themselves or align themselves over the equatorial plate. So see here the chromosomes, they arrange themselves over the equatorial plate, or you can say metaphase plate. And all of these chromosomes, or you can say their sister chromatids, they attach to themselves with these spindle apparatus with the help of kinetochores, which are disc-like structures which covers the centromere of the chromosome. Okay, student, this is anaphase 1 stage of meiosis. So here, what is the special thing? I have here given both type of anaphase, that is anaphase of mitosis and anaphase 1 of meiosis. So anaphase stage of mitosis is very much clear to you that here the centromere split, and this new centromere, which is formed by division of the parent centromere into two, these new centromeres, they move one chromatid towards the opposite pole. So in this way, we have 4 chromosomes. 4 of the chromatids with the help of new centromere, it move towards the upper pole, and 4 of the chromatids with the help of the duplicate centromere, they move towards the lower pole. So in this way, there is movement of chromatids only. And these chromatids, they are genetically identical with each other. And what is the special thing about the anaphase 1 of the meiosis? So here I want to tell you that these homologous chromosomes, they separate while the chromatids, they remain attached to their centromere. So here there is no division of the centromere. So instead of the movement of the chromatids, here the whole chromosomes of the homologous pair, it moved towards the opposite poles. So in this way, in anaphase 1 stage, the chromosome of each bivalent pair separate, while the sister chromatids, they remain together. Okay, student, the next stage is the telophase stage. See the diagram. So here a dyad cell is formed. So this dyad cell, it remains in the parent cell. So you see that nuclear membrane and nucleolus, which earlier disappear, now reappears in this stage. So here you can see the nuclear membrane and how many chromosomes are present inside these daughter cells. So here two chromosomes are present inside. So a dyad of cell is formed, and there is a furrow-like structure. It develops in the plasma membrane of the parent cell. And this furrow-like structure, it moves towards the center, it joins in the center. When the cytokinesis stage starts, so at that time, there is a distribution of the cytoplasm to both of these daughter cells. And when this furrow, it start meeting, and after the meeting of this furrow, the two daughter cells, they get separated from each other. And each of the daughter cell has its identical entity. Okay, students. So we are starting the meiosis 1 stage from 4 chromosomes. And at the end, what you see in the cytokinesis stage, that 2 daughter cells are there. Both of these daughter cells have their own nuclei. And how many chromosomes are there? Out of 4, in each daughter cell, 2 chromosomes are there. That's why it is known as a reductional division, students. So here I have written, in many cases, the chromosomes, they do undergo some dispersion. They do not reach the extremely extended state of the interphase. Okay, students. So here I am going to introduce a very special term, that is interkinesis. As there is an interval in a film, when you watch a movie, there is an interval. In the similar way, the stage between two meiotic divisions is interkinesis, and it is a short-lived stage. So here you must remember that there is no replication of DNA during this interkinesis stage. So interkinesis stage is later followed by the prophase 2 stage, and this prophase 2 is very much simpler as compared to prophase 1 of meiosis 1. So see student, after cytokinesis, we have here two daughter cells, and both of these daughter cells have their own plasma membrane, nuclear membrane, and cytoplasm, and both of the daughter cells contain two chromosomes. So we starting from 4 chromosome, and at the end of meiosis 1 we have two daughter cells each containing two chromosomes. That means it is a reductional division. Okay students, here I have written all the stages of meiosis 2. So you must remember we have how many stages? Again we have 4 stages of meiosis 2. Prophase 2 stage, then metaphase 2 stage, then anaphase 2, and then we have telophase stage. Okay student, just have a look on the main features of this stage. Prophase 2, the presence of the haploid number of sister chromatid pairs in the contracted state characterizes prophase 1. Prophase 2. Okay student, metaphase 2, the pairs of sister chromatids, they arrange themselves on the equatorial plate during metaphase 2, and here the chromatids often partly dissociate from each other instead of being closely pressed together as they are in the mitosis. And regarding anaphase 2, the centromere split, and sister chromatids, they are pulled to the opposite poles by the spindle fibers. And what is the special thing about the telophase 2? So here the nuclei, it reformed, that is nucleolus reformed around the chromosomes at the poles. So now I'm going to explain each stage one by one. So first stage is the prophase 2 stage. Okay students, so meiosis 2 is initiated immediately after cytokinesis, usually before the chromosome have fully elongated. So as compared to meiosis 1, meiosis 2 is a normal mitotic division. So what happened? Nuclear membrane it disappear by the end of the meiosis, and again the compactation of the chromosome is there. That means the chromosome they start becoming compact. They are tightly arranged, or you can say they are very close to each other, and very less space is present between them. Okay student, here I have also written the description regarding this. So see, the centrioles are there, and spindle fiber, they are rising from the centrioles, and these centrioles they try to move towards the opposite poles. Okay students, so meiosis second begins without any further application of the chromosomes or DNA. And prophase 2, the nuclear envelope it breaks down. So there is breaking of the nuclear envelopes, and the spindle apparatus it start forming. Okay student, so here chromosome duplication took place prior to meiosis 1. No new chromosome replication one occurs before meiosis 2. Okay student, those centrioles it also duplicate, and this occur by separation of the two members of the pair. All right, and nuclear envelope breakdown and the spindle apparatus form. The next stage is known as the metaphase 2 stage. So at this stage what happened? The chromosomes they align themselves on the equator. So see here the chromosomes, but they are the special type of chromosome because they are the newly crossed over chromosomes. And these chromosomes they start arranging themselves over the equatorial plate, or you can say metaphase plate, and the microtubules from opposite poles of the spindle, they get attached to the kinetophores of these sister chromosomes. So here you can see with the help of their kinetophores, which are disc-like structure present over the centromere of the chromosome, both the sister chromatid of each chromosome, they attach themselves with the spindle fibers. So this is the special thing about the metaphase 2 stage. So here I have written the chromosome they become arranged on the metaphase plate. Centromeres are arranged in line called equatorial plate of invisible spindle apparatus, and previously occurring nuclear membrane is not present. Okay, student. Now anaphase 2 stage. So here in the anaphase 2 stage, It begins with the simultaneous splitting of the centromere of each chromosome. So here again, the splitting of the centromere takes place. And instead of movement of the chromosome, here there is the movement of chromatid. And these new centromeres, they take away one chromatid towards the opposite poles. So in this way, here is the movement of the chromatid by the splitting of the centromere. So this allows them to move towards opposite poles of the cell, and by shortening of the microtubules attached to the kinetomes. Okay, student, here the facts regarding the anaphase 2 stage. The centroid use the spindle fibers to separate the chromosome into individual chromatids. So here the movement of chromosome is not there. Instead of the movement of chromosome, the movement of individual chromatid is seen. And each chromatid, it is pulled to the opposite pole of the cell. See the student, not the chromosomes are moving. The chromatids, they are moving. Okay, students, sister chromatids, they get separated and they are moving towards opposite. Okay, student. So this is the last stage of meiosis 2, which is known as the telophase stage, students. So here meiosis ends. Meiosis, you can say 2 or you can say overall meiosis division ends here. So two group of chromosomes once again get enclosed by a nuclear envelope. Then after telophase 2 stage, cytokinesis follow, and this results in the formation of a tetrad cell. So how many daughter cells are formed? So two daughter cells are formed from each daughter cell which act as parent cell. So at the end of meiosis 2, we have 4 daughter cells. So see here again the formation of the dyad cell containing 2 daughter cells inside one parent. So in this way, when there is cytokinesis takes place, then after cytokinesis, the cytoplasm, it is distributed to both the daughter cells, and these daughter cells, they get separated from each other at the end of the stage, cytokinesis. Okay, student, here I have written nuclear membrane and nucleolus, it reappears. All right, and chromosome becomes long and thin, that is decondensed, and spindle fibers, they disappear, and cytokinesis divides cell into 2 by the distribution of the cytoplasm to the daughter cells. So 4 haploid daughter cells are formed and each contain one chromosome. So you know that when we start meiosis 1, then the parent cell, it contains how many chromosomes? 4 chromosomes. At the end of the meiosis 1, we have 2 daughter cells which contain 2 chromosomes each. And when these 2 daughter cells, it enters into meiosis 2, then they form how many daughter cells? 4 daughter cells. And each of these 4 daughter cells, they have 1 chromosome each. So in this way, we have 4 chromosome to 2 chromosome in meiosis 1, and then 2 chromosome to 1 chromosome in meiosis 2. So it is truly a reductional division. So here I have given one flow chart in which we have compared meiosis 1 all stages with meiosis 2. So here you can go through this diagrammatic flow chart and learn how the chromosomes or chromatids, they get separated. Okay, student, in the last, I want to discuss the significance of the meiosis. Why there is a need of this meiotic cell division. So you know that meiosis is the only mechanism by which conservation of the specific chromosome number, it is maintained in each species generation after generation. So if the chromosome number is fixed in any species, that is only because of meiosis, because it reduces the chromosome number. And in this way, when later the gametes fuse, then again the same chromosome number is maintained during the process of fertilization or zygote formation. Okay, student, the second is it increases genetic variations in the population of organism from generation to generation, because you know that in the process of meiosis, crossing over takes place, which is the exchange of the genetic segments between the 2 homologous chromosomes. And during this exchange of genetic segments, the genes that are present on the DNA of one chromosome, it also shift towards the other chromosome, and vice versa situation is there. And third one is, as more and more variations are introduced by this process, so these variations are very much important for the origin of new species, or you can say evolution. And you know that sexually reproducing organisms, during their reproductive stage, they undergo this meiosis cell division, and in this way, more and more variations they occurs in the sexually reproducing organisms. And in this way, as we have more variations, so this means our survival rate is more and our lifespan is also more. So sexually reproducing organism, they have longer lifespan or survival. So that's all in this chapter, students. So we have studied about various stages of mitosis, which is a equational division, where the chromosome number, it remains the same as the parent cell. And we have also studied in this chapter about the various stages of meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. We already have studied about the significance of mitosis and meiosis. So that's all in today's lecture, students. Have a nice day.